Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today in this video, I'll be talking about the most common question that you guys have been asking me. Like, what is the best set to be running as a Gladiator? Do we run 2-piece Imperial or 4-piece Vanguard? And in this video, I'll be breaking it down and I'll be ranking them towards like which one has the most damage and which one is more optimal. I'll be going in depth, breaking it down for you guys. How does each stat feels, because I pretty much have all 3 stats in my build right now. I do have it, I do trade them and all that, so I've been testing them for quite a while. The reason why this video has been taking so long is because the meta has been changing quite a lot, and right now I feel like the meta is kind of stale, where I can actually do enough testing and tell you guys which one feels the best for me personally. So yeah, let's get right through it. So first thing first, I'll be talking about the Vanguard pieces. The 4-piece Vanguard. I'll be explaining to you guys what the pros is, and I'll be explaining to you guys what the cons is. So pretty much, if you have the Naru Spear, I would say it's kind of good to run 4-piece Vanguard. Or if you have Naru Spear, you might as well just run 5-piece Vanguard. The reason why, once you run 5-piece Vanguard, you can reach 70 endurance with Naru Spear. And then the passive from Naru Spear gives you the CC resist, which you can stack up to 10 times. So you pretty much get a free 250 CC resist. And with the amount of resist that 7042 gives you, you can easily have quite a lot of like resistance, but you still gotta build either you want to go collision resist or you want to go weaken resist. You can't really have both. It's just how the stat work in the game. So pretty much I would say if you want to run like 5-piece Vanguard, that's the way to do it. If you have Naru, it's kind of good to do it because you can stack that resistance quite high. And people who build like half fast collision chance can't really collide you, so you ended up resisting a lot of stuff just by having 5-piece Vanguard with you. So the pros is, the other thing is you're gonna be tanky. Reason being is you're gonna run 70 fortitude. If you have 5-piece Vanguard, you have the most endurance bonuses that fortitude can give you. And fortitude in itself, every time you put a point in fortitude, it's gonna increase your endurance. So if you just take a look at it over here, once I decrease it, it's gonna decrease my endurance over here. So every time you add something to it and fortitude, it's gonna give you a little bonus of endurance. So by having 4-piece Vanguard, you pretty much are gonna have a lot of like endurance just because you have a lot of fortitude in itself. The cons to the build, to this build, yes, you're gonna be having a lot of like base damage because of the Vanguard stat gives you, but I would say in order to one-shot people, base damage 30 is just not enough. You kind of need crit in order to do that. You kind of want to deal that max damage that you have. So you still got to build a little bit of crit. The problem is once you run 4-piece Vanguard, you kind of want to give up on crit. You don't really want to build it because you're not going to be able to abuse the amount of huge crit damage that Imperial can have. So I would say, yeah, if you're running 4-piece Vanguard, you're going to be tanky, but you're going to be having the issue. The cons is, yes, you're still going to be hitting the melee evasion user because you have high hit chance. But the problem is you're not going to have enough crit damage in order to take them down with you. So that's my only issue with 4-piece Vanguard. You just don't have enough burst damage, because if you can't burst them in today's meta, they're pretty much just gonna get healed back up. So you pretty much, once you do that stun ascending slash to guillotine, you pretty much want to one-shot them every single time you have the chance to do that. And if you can't one-shot them, then you're pretty much are gonna be screwed, because they're just gonna heal back up, and it's just gonna feel bad in the other day if you don't one-shot them. And here's the thing though, don't get me wrong, with 4-piece Vanguard, yes, you can still one-shot like crossbows user, but my issue is you want to open up more targets. You can't just really be bursting people who's running like 18k HP. In my opinion, I do also want to burst the GS daggers, the one that runs like 25k HP, the spear daggers that runs something a little bit more HP and all that. I just want to be able to burst them once I put them on the ground, because if I'm only looking for crossbows, my target pool are kind of small, so I pretty much want to be able to burst all dagger user pretty much. So with that playstyle, I would say my 4-piece Vanguard is not going to give me that. So that's the reason why personally I don't really like it. But yes, with this build, you're pretty much going to be tanky. The only other argument that I would have is this build also has good max health and good endurance, which means you're going to be a lot more tankier. And if you're going to like a ZVZ content, like let's say Nebula, or you're going somewhere like Castle Siege, it's just going to feel better, because the amount of like random stuff that's gonna be thrown at you in ZVZ, you pretty much want to be a little bit more tankier and give up a little bit of damage, that's fine, as long as you can just stay alive and keep throwing spears on the clump. So yeah, I would say in ZVZ, this build is kind of good. It kind of overshadowed 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard. But again, it just depends on your preferences. In the ZVZ content, this build it feels good in ZVZ content. That's what I would say. All right, now that we're done with 4-piece Vanguard, now it's time to talk about the 2-piece Imperial and 2-piece Vanguard kind of set. So with 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard, you're pretty much gonna still have the same amount of hit as you're running 4-piece Vanguard. Maybe you're gonna be having a little higher of hit chance, reason being because you have more max health, but nothing much to the point is really game changing. So the two builds are still gonna be able to hit melee evasion user, no problem, but the only difference is pretty much on 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard, you do have more crit hit chance, and you also do have the crit damage, which is the most important stat in this build. Reason being is, even though we don't really have that many crit hit chance, we only have like 1300, but this is, in the end of the day, this is enough to crit people with 0 endurance. And who's running 0 endurance? Pretty much all the dagger users are going to be running 0 endurance, so because they're running evasion, right? So by that logic, we pretty much can kill dagger users, and if they decided to run melee evasion, we're not too far out to the point where we can't hit them at all. So in the end of the day, this set is kind of good in doing that. And with that high amount of crit damage, you can pretty much one-shot any single dagger class if you heavy hit and crit damage at the same time. So it feels pretty good to play this set. The only difference is you're gonna have a lower base damage because you're not gonna be running 4-piece Vanguard, which gives you the bonus 30 damage. But that's okay, because you're gonna be hitting a lot harder with the max damage anyway, because you're critting the people that you're targeting. So yeah, if you're talking about squishiness, that's the cons of this class. So the pros is basically you do more damage, but the cons is pretty much you're a little bit squishier. Reason being is because you're not gonna be having that much resistance, because you just can't build it. If you build resistance, you're gonna give up something. It's always gonna be like that. So I would say that's the only cons that this class has pretty much. And also the upper side too from this, one of the benefit of having this build is you can be running Crown Skull Victory no problem, and you can have that 20% mana cost efficiency, which is actually one of GS Spear's needed trait. You need at least around 20% mana cost efficiency to be able to play this class nicely. A lot of people are gonna be saying that GS Spear doesn't really have mana problem, but it kind of does, especially when you got mana burn. Having that 20% mana cost efficiency just really helps in order to make some plays and throw some spears, because spears just cost so much mana. So yeah, and again, if you're talking about squishy, this class is a little more squishy than 4-piece Vanguard, but not because of the endurance, but because of the weaken resist or collision resist that you kind of lack. Yes, you're gonna be having a little less endurance than Vanguard, 4-piece Vanguard, but it's nothing game changing. But again, the two classes, basically, one is more tanky, deal less damage, the other one is more damage but deals a little bit more squishy. So earlier, what I explained to you guys is pretty much the pros and cons for each build. Again, it's nothing really like which one is better or which one is not. It's just an option that you can go. It's like a build variety that you can go pretty much if you're running like a GS Spear. If you like a more bursty, more assassin, more like, you know, you're still a brawler, you do a significant amount of damage, you can take out key players. Pretty much if you want to do that, you run 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard. But if you just want to stay alive as long as you can, and then you just want to brawl it out and just keep like throwing spears, keep doing DPS towards the enemy and all that, then 4-piece or 5-piece Vanguard is better for you, because the amount of like resistance and endurance that you have from the set itself. And I would say, if you want to ask me like what's my like tier list opinion regarding the build, it's pretty much this. In summary, it's number 1. Which is what I'm running right now. It's 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard, and the second one will be 5-piece Vanguard. The third one will be 4-piece Vanguard. Let me explain it to you why this is my order number. 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard. I just like it for my playstyle. It makes the DPS class like do DPS. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to play a DPS that's tanky. I want to play a DPS that actually deals damage, pretty much, right? And makes significant like impact in the game. So that's why I like 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard better. And you really have that mana cost efficiency problem with Crown Skull of Victory. It kind of solves it, so it kind of works that way. And you also have a decent amount of heavy hit as well. It's just a good set overall. All right, and then these two are pretty much, there's gonna be a lot of debate between like, is for a 5-piece Vanguard better than 4-piece Vanguard? I would say 5-piece Vanguard does the job better. Reason being, it gives you the resistance that you need. If you have Pakio Spear especially, it gives you that stat breakthrough that you needed for like weaken resist, let's say, because pretty much weaken resist is the only one that kills you. Curse is weaken chance, lightning infusion is weaken chance, poison is weaken chance. All of those annoying stuff are pretty much weaken chance. So once you get rid of the weaken chance, once you have a high enough weaken resist, you can pretty much stay alive for quite a long time. You can't get heal cut, you can't get like, you're pretty much invisible once you have 5-piece Vanguard. Not literally, like if you get jumped by 20 people, you're still gonna be dead, right? But you will notice that you're gonna be alive way longer with 5-piece Vanguard. It's just a good set overall. And I would say 4-piece Vanguard, it's more in the middle. It's like, yeah, you want to do a lot of damage. You want to do damage, but at the same time, you want to be tanky. And usually in Throne, if you're sitting in the middle, your build kind of has no purpose, I would say. So by running 5-piece Vanguard, in my opinion, it's just way better. You just, yes, you're doing less damage than 4-piece Vanguard, but again, your whole point of running 4-piece Vanguard should be just staying alive, right? That's pretty much the goal of running that set. In general, if you want to do more damage, just run 2-piece Imperial, 2-piece Vanguard. There's just no debate on that. So yeah, the 5-piece Vanguard is second better overall, I would say, because it just does the job better with the amount of weaken resist you get from Fortitude and all that. The shield mastery, so pretty much it gives you shield based on how many Fortitude you have. And if you're running 5-piece Vanguard, you're gonna have 70. And it's gonna be easy to have max health with 5-piece Vanguard, so you're just way more tanky overall. It's just a really good set to build if you want to be more tanky. And then that 70 Fortitude will, like, if you times that by 120, then it's something around the line of 8,400 shield, pretty much, right? So it's gonna help you for quite a lot, because in the end of the day, it's an 8k shield. It's a lot of shield. So, and then it's activate every 60 seconds. So it's a pretty good shield on top of like what you have pretty much from that build from 5-piece Vanguard. So yeah, it's a really cool set. And in my opinion, it's just way better than the 4-piece Vanguard to do its job. The amount of weaken resist you get is insane. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts regarding these videos, and if you guys really like the videos as well, just give it a like. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Yeah, if you got any question regarding the build or all that, just join Discord. Or if you don't want to join Discord, then just leave it a comment in the comment section down below. I'll be trying my best to answer the question that you guys have. And if it's still not clear and all that, just come watch me live. I am live quite a lot these days lately. Usually it's around Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sometimes maybe Friday or Saturday, depending on how busy the schedule is. But yeah. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.